Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Tremelo Nights. It's nice to have you back, and I got a lot to talk about this week. I'm dressed to the nines, as usual. No, not as usual, but I got my 97s on, and I've only just recently got into these shoes, and I really like them, so I had to buy myself two pairs. But I've got this painting that I've nearly finished. I'll throw up a little picture of it. Boom. And, I've got little bits that I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh, maybe that should have a little bit more white there. Maybe that should have a little bit more blue. But, yeah, it was a tricky one. And every painting that I do, I'm trying to, write down where I can, what I can do better and what makes them better and stuff. Because a lot of it is angles and light in it and it depends what sort of style of painting I guess you want to do, but to make them realistic, it's got to look realistic, and that's kind of keeping to the same light strategy. I don't know what the actual name of it for it is called, but making sure if the sun's there's not going to be light on something that's not having it shined on, not being shined on. And, little things as well with the colours. I kind of just mix it as I go. But this time I decided, hey, I'm going to get all the colours on the palette board and mix them beforehand. Just so I'm not, fucking it up with the remixing and stuff and mixing colours together and cocking it up with my blues getting all orange and stuff like that. So I just kept it all the same. And because I wanted to go for a specific type of, with all the mountains and the clouds and stuff, keep it all blue and light blue. Like I said in the short that I posted yesterday, I wanted it all to be blue. But every time I look at it, I don't know. There's bits that I need to add on to it and stuff. But I'll be posting the short video of it all tomorrow. But you can see what it looks like now. I don't mind. I'll put a picture up, like I said earlier. It's interesting, art and painting, how the history and stuff like that is so interesting. I find it really interesting. I was watching these YouTube videos, a while ago about even just Japan had a policy of not really letting any outsider trade in or immigrants in for a good 100 years or so. So that meant they didn't really have influence of other cultures and stuff like Western European art styles, and you wouldn't even think about it, but colours as well, like blue. They didn't have that. It's weird to think that in it, not even having the possibility of making blue, but they had a different type. They developed their kind of own different style of painting, those. I've actually got a picture of one up there. It's kind of like this canvassing where you can make lots of these prints that they used to do and mass produce them, which is interesting. And then obviously they opened up trade and could start being able to use blue and that great wave. That's blue and all that. But hey ho. And I've been looking at the analytics and stuff. I get a lot of these views from the shorts that I do. It's more than 50% of girls, and that is so wild to me. I never would have thought that there would be more girls than boys. I'm a big dude. I like to chill with the fellas, and it's crazy that when females actually watch them. But I guess they like painting and stuff like that. Speaking of females, there's been a lot in the news about just people getting murdered, and this is what I seem to always just fall back and talk about is serial killers and monsters. But it is wild. There was a story in the news of some head teacher, right, who ran this school, and it won the best 2020 school of the year, right? And her husband, they lived on the school grounds. It just shot her, then the daughter, and then himself. Which I just got so many questions, man. I'd love to. Obviously, I can't sit down with a guy and quiz him, but what a crazy thing to do. And it's if you're gonna kill the wife, all right, that's out of order. But the daughter as well, man. I mean, she'll be traumatized, but she might make a great, actor or something like that. With all that horrible, experience. But God, and it's how long have you been thinking about it as well? Was he I'm gonna do it today. Like, is he saying like in the next week, I'm gonna get the shotgun out of the cupboard, and I'm gonna rain terror down on this family because I've just had enough. Like, or was it just kind of like they all sat down for breakfast, and then she just said something. She just really got under his skin with something, and he just snapped and just went and shot her and the daughter. It's wild, but she ran a tight ship. You got to give her that. The lady, I mean, best school in the country, 2022. I've got to respect that, and maybe she ran it. She ran a tight ship at home, and then maybe that's why baby boy couldn't take it anymore and had to get the Remington out. But fair play. But I was round at someone's house earlier, and he was this consultant, right? This education consultant. They kind of get this guy to come into these really bad schools and fix them up. And yeah, that was interesting. It was a kind of interesting guy because he seemed like one of the teachers that everyone would be, like, or like getting on with everyone. And I think that is the best way to teach. You want to be, I don't know, you want to have respect and give respect, That's what I mean. The teachers when I was in school, the ones that you were scared of, it was like, all right, we're scared of him, but let's be honest, if he got hit by a car on the way, and we all saw it on the way to school, it would be a great time. But there's some other ones that you're like, if he got hit by a car, I'd run over and, I'd pull my lung out my chest and, make him swallow it just for him to survive, But I think that's what school is. You get good teachers and you get bad teachers. Some are good, some are bad, and that's just where the cookie crumbles. I remember I had one teacher that I really loved. It was an English teacher, and I've never been much of a writer, like at all. I get my B's and my D's mixed up. I'm not sure how to use commas 100%, and I can't spell. That's just the main thing. And I've never really writ anything or read. I'm not good at reading either. Like, I've got this ancient Egypt books that I was talking about last week. I got to about page 35, and I'll be honest, the thought of me going upstairs and reading it brings me severe dread. And I don't know. It's just something about it, because it is good to get into sleep, and it's a lot better than just sitting and flicking through Twitter and looking at pretty people on Instagram. But I can't do it. I'm sorry. I just cannot do it. I need an audio book. I need some old some old person with a lot of timbre in their voice to swell me up, and send me off down Dream Street. But I can't remember what I was talking about. Yeah, schools. Yeah, my school that I just went to, and it's a beautiful. Oh, it looks beautiful. It's got big columns. It looks like it's some sort of Roman building, but it's old. It's built in all the schools that I've been to have been built in pre-1900s. Oh no, 1900s. Is that right? It was built in 1901, something like that. Anyway, so they all have really high windows and stuff. That's how they build them. All the inside was stone floors and stuff, and it'd be worn down from all the walking on it and stuff like that. It's really, really interesting and really beautiful. But there was a movie film there as well, and it has that kid out of Boy in Striped Pajamas in it. It's about maths, I think. But that was filmed in my school. Anyway, it's an old school. Anyway, they have just been failed at an Ofsted report, which is like the exams the schools has to sit to make sure they're not ruining children's lives. And the first day, apparently, I read the news about it. The first day, a kid walking to school got hit by a bus like that, man. T-boned by a double-decker. So that straight away just sets it up for a pretty horrible report. But anyway, it's going to get turned into an academy. And this school that I went to, man, you didn't even have to wear uniform. You could just kind of do whatever you want, and you could go out at lunch. It was split in between two sites. So year 7 to year 9 would be at the lower bit, the pleb bit, which was about 2 miles away. And then the other bit was year 10 to year 13. So it was different. Like the lower bit, the lower school, it'd be like a zoo, like monkeys and like penguins, just chaos. No one knew how to act, and it was just wild. And then you go to the upper bit, where all the older kids were, and then it'd be like a retirement home. Everyone was just nice. It'd be people like playing squash on the court. It's kind of like, you know, those like prisons, isn't it? Like when you see them, the ones where people are like, they're like rioting and like taking guards hostage and like smearing their feces all over the wall, compared to like the ones where you get put if you're like defrauding loads of old people out of their pension funds and stuff like that, where they're playing like racquetball and shit like that. But anyway, this school's just been hit with a ban hammer. So and this guy that I met today, I was like, oh, are they going to still have to wear you? Are they not going to be able to like? Dude, what am I even trying to? Are they going to start having to wear a uniform? He was like, is the daylight? I was like, Matthew, don't. But apparently he taught a show or like a horror movie or kind of just some sort of sick science experiment. But right, I'm saying either people sign up willingly or not. It doesn't matter. That's where, you know, either if it's a film, it can be against their will. But I need people in a room, and there's just a net hanging down from the ceiling with a digital weight on it, right? So it's at zero because it's just the net. And for each gram of flesh you get in the net of your own body, that equals £1,000. So you can have like a knife, a drill, and all that, and basically you got to cut body parts off yourself and try and weigh this thing up to get some money. But just a little idea. I don't know. I'll probably type out a little email and send it to the BBC. I'll probably get put on a list or something. But it made me think, like, what would I cut off? And if I ever did it, which I don't think I would, because a gram's kind of a lot when it's your own like weight of skin, and you can't do blood, you can't do hair, because it's got to get in this net. It's got to be in a net, so it's got to be really like. If I needed the money, let's say I needed to pay for some £50,000 treatment for my parents, or one of them, right? Just one. I've got both. They're both still alive. Straight away, I've heard that it's like biting a carrot if you just bite into your own, biting your fingers like that. All of one hand, I reckon I could do with that. Or maybe I'd get rid of the middle finger and. Ooh, I've not actually thought about this one. Maybe just one finger, but that's not even a lot. You'd be surprised how little one finger weighs. I googled it. It's not a lot. But if I actually like had to, I'd probably like cut my bum, just get the knife straight up there, bang. I don't think you can be fucking chopping off limbs. I don't think that's actually even possible. But I'm not even good with blood. I remember I went in to give blood. I was like, my dad does it all the time. You know, it seems to be like a great thing you can do. And I was like, oh, man, I'll kill two birds with one stone. I'll get a blood test. I'll see if I've got AIDS. And, you know, I'll make someone's day as well. So I went in there. And I'm not a big fan of blood, like I say. So I got up to the point where they give you a free bag of crisps. Then they pull you into a room and are like, right, we're just going to prick your finger just to check the iron. And they did that, and I just turned white. And I thought I was still going to go for it because I've got like I don't know what it's called, where I would rather not have the embarrassment of me saying I can't do this than not doing it. So she was like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "Yeah." What's why? And she was like, "You've gone completely white and you're like shaking." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not." To be honest, I'm not feeling too well. Do I have to do this? She's like, no, of course you don't. I could tell that she definitely thought that, you know, less of me though. But it's weird that, I've had it before. Wait, I don't know, you call it sexism. But there's not a lot of examples of men, you know, talk about sexism and stuff. But when I went to the hospital, I had my appendix out, right? And they have to take your blood, obviously. They have to know what sort of oil's in your system so they can change it if you, if the doctor cuts the wrong part of you, I think, and you start bleeding out. So I'm like to the nurse, listen, I know I'm not good with blood. already all day I've had a chronic pain in my stomach. I've not eaten. I don't feel good. Barely slept, and I'm gay. Can you what? Can we not do the blood? She's like, I have to do the blood. I'm sorry. So, she's like, oh, it's only a little bit of blood. Like trying to be like, oh, you're a big boy. You're a man. Why don't you act like a man? Which is right. I should, man up and just do it. But also, fuck you. I don't like blood. I like it in my body rather than in a little tube. So, I'm like covering my eye. I need to talk into the microphone. I need to talk into the microphone. I don't know why I'm moving it about, but she would just prick my arm, and I was not looking, and it's going fine. I can deal with me not looking and me having to do it. And then she's like she has to take 2 vials, all right? So now we're really pushing it. She gets 1 done, starts doing the second, and she's like, oh, it's really thick, and oh, that just. I've got a good imagination, man, and that fucked me up. Like, now I'm like, my eyes are shut, and I'm like, imagining thick blood and the blood inside my system, and then I start thinking about my heart and how it's pumping. So straight away, I'm like, get like tunnel vision, and it's wild tunnel vision. It's like it really is like a tunnel in your eyes, and I just throw up all over, everywhere, all over the floor. And I'm glad I did, to be honest, because I think she should have been a little bit nicer about it, to be honest. And then maybe that wouldn't have happened. And maybe, why would you say it's thick? I don't want to hear what the fucking consistency is of my blood. Jesus Christ. Like, would you tell someone, if it was the wrong colour, would you say something like, oh my God, wow, it's black? You wouldn't, would you? You would shut up and you would go get a doctor and sort me out. I got some good this week though on the art debate. Got a little bit of music for you, right? And this one is one of my dad's albums, but I tried doing this on. I played this one on the short, kind of mixed it, and I would have did it properly, but it's really hard to put. It takes a long time to make the music and then do everything, edit it all, right? But track 3, man, Souvenir, I think that's how you say it, of Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. Woo-wee! Dude, I heard this one in B&Q while I was looking at houseplants, and I was just like, closed my eyes, and I was like, Dad, this takes me back to the 80s, man. Height of the AIDS crisis, and this is just fun. I'm out. I don't care. But it's from the 80s, and I think you should give it a listen. I've got a great idea for one of these coming up that I'm going to get someone to come over and tune the old tin of beans. And I've been looking online, some guy called Paul the piano tuner, which is funny. It's got a ring to it, if you pardon the pun. And I'm going to get this motherfucker to come around, right? And I'm going to interview him. Because I got some interesting questions about this little thing called piano tuning. And but I really struggle getting to sleep, And I've come to realize about life, that it all started with starting going to the gym it was about a year. It was a year ago in November. I've not been for 2 months because of my hand. But it's gone the mend, and I can't wait to get back in, But I've been off for so long. I've been not there for 2 months, where it's like I'm used to not going now. When you go in there for a year straight, I went for a year straight, 4-5 days a week, right? And you get used to that. It's kind of like, oh, this is just my life now. I'm just the dude. But yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. It's gym, going. Oh yeah, it made me kind of realize, obviously everyone's different and stuff, but if you want to do anything and you want to get better at it, you've got to do it at least 3 times a week, and you've got to do it consistently. And that's why I'm doing this. I enjoy talking, and I like asking questions as well. So I'm forcing myself. It's hard to think of stuff to talk about, but I have things I want to talk about. So I do it every week, and I'll get better at it. And I'll interview people, and I'll get better at that. The first one probably won't be very good, but that's why you do it, and you keep doing it. And it's just consistency, innit? And so that's what I kind of learned from that. And like other things, since I've stopped drinking as well from from the big old accident when I fell down the stairs, I just kind of, oh, my life is just, I feel like it's got better and it's changed a lot. You know, I don't go out really at all on the weekends. I go and play pool with my friends. You know, just kind of talk because it's good. It's a good thing to do. Pool, because you can talk as well. It's a good way to catch up with your mates. And you know, I've got a mate that's also not drinking, so it's great. It's kind of like, you know, they do it in 12 steps where you have like a sponsor, but it's not kind of like, we're not. You know, I'm not sober. I'm not saying that. I'm not drinking or doing any drugs or anything like that. But I don't know how long it'll last because I don't want to put a limit on it either. But I'm enjoying it so much at the minute. But it's kind of changed my whole how I do my life. Like I wake up earlier now, and yeah, I kind of just think about stuff. And like all through my life, I've thought about things that I thought were like wrong with me and stuff, or like stuff that I'd do that was like a negative, and like I'd overthink and stuff like that. But now I kind of just, now that I'm just like I'm painting and creating stuff, you know, trying to like do these videos and like to play the music and stuff. I think a lot of those things that I kind of thought back in the past were, you know, disadvantaging me. You know, when you look at them through a different panel in the box, it's a lot different. You know, like I'd sit in bed and just overthink. I wouldn't be able to get to sleep. Like I would be tired and I'd go to bed, and then I'd just come downstairs. I'd just go. I'd be tired and I'd go upstairs and I'd just lay in bed trying to get to sleep. And when I close my eyes, I just overthink things. Not even like, not bad way, especially, but I'd like listen to music and I'd just like stop feeling stuff. It's weird. Like I'd just imagine stuff like, oh, this song, I'll be going on a holiday. I've got a holiday booked. I'll be playing this while I'm with all my friends and stuff. And you know, I used to just think, oh God, that's such a disadvantage, man. It's not really. It's kind of a good thing, you know, because you know, I'm feeling something in it, and like, when I listen to music and like the things that I picture and stuff like that, that's what I've been enjoying about making these videos and stuff, is trying to replicate a bit of that, you know, feeling that I get from music and like kind of making like a video. But it's easier with the shorts and stuff. They're pretty good because they get a lot of. It's a lot easier to get a lot of eyes on it than kind of just a YouTube video. Kind of YouTube video, just if it's 20 minutes, who the fuck is watching that? Because I'll tell you what, I'm not. But these 1 minute shorts, people just flick through, and I used to do it, man. When I used to just be all fucked up and high, I'd just sit there. I remember flicking through shorts while I was brushing my teeth. Like, that's just fucked up, that, innit? Like, just brush your teeth, dude, and then watch them after. But that's just how they get you, man. So that's what I've kind of just been feeling, you know? And all this painting stuff, I'm really enjoying that as well. But I don't like keeping them after I've drawn them. I do think that is a little bit weird. So I've always, when I did it when I was younger as well, I'd always give them to my mum and stuff like that. But this one that I painted on Mount Fuji, I think I'm going to write a nice little note to my friend who took the picture and send it him, because he just bought a flat. So I thought, oh, what a nice thing, and hopefully he puts it up. I don't expect him to. I don't even think it's that great, to be honest. But I've done it, and it'll be better the next time I do it. I'll guarantee that, because I've learned something. But I think that's kind of all that I wanted to say today, really. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tremelo Nights. Sat down here with a current event, a different angle as well, a different camera angle now that I bought a camera stand. So yeah, I'll see you next time.